one of the hottest days on record in Anaheim, California. And if it is 107 as the official game time temperature, which we won't know for a few minutes still, that'll be the hottest game time temperature in the history of this ballpark.
It's an easy day to stay loose. Get loose and stay loose. Then after that, stay hydrated and keep your energy up.
Dodgers and Angels ready to play the first game of this weekend series and the first of 6 over the next week and a half. They'll pack in their meetings this season into these couple of weeks before the All-Star break. Take a look at the Dodger lineup brought to you by 76. They've been red hot lately, and this is what it looks like tonight. Jock Peterson to lead it off in left field. At first base, Max Muncy. He seems to be a staple in that 2 spot at this point, with Turner hitting third. Cody Bellinger's in center, batting cleanup. The DH is Matt Kemp. Dave Roberts getting him a day off of his feet in this heat with a big left field to cover here. The catcher's Grandal. Taylor's at short. Puig is in right. And Chase Utley with his first start here in July at second. On the mound for the Angels in this one is a 28-year-old from the Dominican Republic named Felix Pena, who makes his 4th major league start. He had 1 relief appearance in April, 1 relief appearance in May, mostly in AAA though, and then up into the rotation in late June.
Almost made 40 relief appearances at the big league level before getting his first start. And as a starter, his arm plays a little bit lower than he does coming out of the bullpen. Out of the bullpen, he can go 94, 95, but mostly as a starter, he's been around 91, 92. Throws mostly a curveball as his off-speed pitch, has a changeup. A few of the Dodgers have seen him. He's pitched against them twice in relief in his career, and he's done well. 3 innings and no runs. So they're facing somebody they don't really know, but they're very hot right now.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Tonight's Angels defense brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC, and he gets a lot of help from his battery mates. They're the best in baseball at controlling the running game. So the first place Dodgers ready to go, having won 4 in a row and 31 of their last 44. That is strike 1 to Jock Peterson, and off we go from Anaheim. On an 0-1 pitch, Peterson grounds it to first. It gets off of Pujols into right field. Perhaps this is the time to continue to talk about the Angels defense, which was a big time strength for them last year, but they've been below average so far this season.
Mike Trout at center and Simmons at short, Kinsler at second. You would think that they'd be pretty strong, but I would think most of the problems have been around the corners for them.
They're number 5 in baseball in defensive efficiency last year, which is just simply the ability to turn batted balls into outs. And they've fallen into the bottom half of the majors this year. So the leadoff man on, and here's Max Muncy. Bigger picture for the Angels. They got off to the best start in franchise history at 13-3, but have been in a free fall pretty much since then. Mike Scioscia's team 3-9 in its last 12. 1-0, and Muncy takes a strike 1-1. It's off of the glove of Briseño, and thanks to a couple of defensive misplays, Peterson is at second.
No giveaway at the ballpark today, but some giveaways on the field already. 180 feet of bases. Albert Pujols just with a routine ground ball. Feet kind of locked up on him as the ball curved a little bit on him. Couldn't get the glove over. And some glove problems behind the plate.
We did get the official word, by the way. 108 first pitch temperature, new record high here in Anaheim. On a 1-1 pitch, Muncy cuts and misses 1-2. A ballpark that opened in 1966, the single hottest game they've had here. Angels played their first year in LA's old Wrigley Field, and then a few seasons at Dodger Stadium before they opened this place. National League's leader in OPS, Max Muncy, with a man at second here in the first, takes it in the dirt, and the count evens at 2-2. Coming off a homestand where he hit .375. Got 3 more home runs against Pittsburgh this week. And continues to make a serious push towards all-star consideration.
Some of the residue of the Dodgers in first place is possible more all-stars. Because if you're sitting in third, 4 games behind Arizona, if San Francisco is in between you, but you guys are having a good year and you're on your way up, that's one thing. When the World Series manager for the Dodgers is at the helm of the club and you're in first place, you're going to get a little bit more of an edge as far as being named to the All-Star team.
You just have more of a soapbox to get on, right?
You sure do, and I don't think, and that feeling of I can't believe they put him on compared to me. It's like, well, he plays for a first place team. He's got somebody to first.
Once he's worked it full and stays alive. Did you notice something different with Dave Roberts today? Seeing that shot of him on the dugout bench. He's got a little goatee going.
Oh, does he?
He had said a while back that if LeBron James came to Los Angeles, he would grow out a goatee.
Oh.
And I don't know if you heard, but LeBron James is coming to Los Angeles. Another payoff. Muncy turns on it, right field. Calhoun lays out and makes the catch. So after back-to-back defensive misplays for the Angels, Calhoun with a gem for the first out of the night.
First time. Get a little help from his friend Max Muncy. Put some topspin on this ball, and that's a tremendous play by Cole Calhoun. Jock Peterson thinking maybe it would drop, got a little too far off of second base to be able to tag up. So Calhoun saves them 90 feet.
Got a Gold Glove on his resume. And a fantastic play there, perhaps to save the game's first run from scoring. Runner at second, 1 out. Justin Turner, first pitch curve, strike 1. Turner's been swinging it well lately. 364 in his last 11 games, beginning with his game-winning home run in New York a couple weeks ago. On this 0-1, he lays off, ball 1. One ball and 2 strikes.
This heat's got to be good for Justin's wrist. You know, they're trying to manage whatever pain or inflammation he gets throughout this year. They thought that he would have to deal with it all year, but now as the weather starts to heat up, of course the ball travels farther, but easier to get loose, easier to feel good about how your hands and your wrists, your feet feel.
Peterson is second, 1 out, and a 1-2 misses away, and the count evens 2 balls, 2 strikes. So that would be a silver lining to what otherwise is a miserable condition for these guys to play in. Yes, it's a dry heat. There's not much humidity, but 108 is 108. Full count. It's funny, you know, tomorrow it's a high of 96, and that's a 15-degree improvement over today.
Well, you don't feel it in the batter's box as an everyday player as much as you feel it when you're on defense. When you have to stand around, wait for your pitcher to throw the ball, hopefully your pitcher's having a good outing so you get in and out of it. But the defensive side of the ball is the hard part of the heat.
So you're hoping your pitcher's working quickly, huh?
I always tried whenever we were in bad weather, either there's the rain, the cold, or the heat. Try and work a little faster, as fast as possible, and still stay in the groove.
A 3-2 to Turner. Rides in the zone. He fouls it back, and we'll do it again. Now, last week in Chicago it was miserably hot, and in the White Sox game there were a few guys that had to leave the game because of heat-related illness. So you know they'll be keeping a close eye on these guys, keeping them as hydrated as possible. Turner swings and misses for the second out.
Fastball that just a lot of run. And that's just not knowing a guy yet. When you see that spin, what's his fastball doing? It's up. Well, it runs an awful lot when it's up, guys. So when it's up there, if it's not starting towards the outer half as a righty, you better not offer at it because it's going to run in on your hands.
Dodgers trying to take advantage of the leadoff man reaching scoring position before there was an out. And with 2 out, it's up to Cody Bellinger. He watches a fastball for a strike. He sure has looked better the last week or two, hasn't he?
I think he's erased whatever was starting out as, oh, he's going to have a sophomore slump. There's too much pressure. He can't duplicate it. Well, this hot streak that he has been on and now looking like he can continue on. You see a different guy up there now. It's part of becoming a pro. If you're going to stay here 15 to 20 years, which he's got a shot to do, you're going to go through things like this, but learning these lessons are going to be a big reward for him later to shorten his cold streaks.
Pena's 0-2 got him swinging with a back foot breaking ball, and the inning comes to an end. Pena able to pitch around the poor defense with a little help from the defense afterwards, and Kenta Maeda ready to take it when you come back. The Angels starting lineup brought to you by 76. Cole Calhoun leads things off. Then it's Andrelton Simmons and Mike Trout. Upton, Pujols, and Ohtani in the middle of the order with Valbuena at third, Kinsler at second, and Jose Briseño doing the catching. Against Kenta Maeda, whose first 2 starts back from the DL were not very good, but his last 2 he's pitched 7 full innings in both.
Everything has gotten better. Every single pitch has gotten better. The slider's gotten better. The thing that really should steal the headlines, though, is the changeup. Excellent down with great movement to the point that he's getting a lot of strikeouts with that pitch now.
Calhoun to lead things off. Swings at the first pitch and a bouncing ball to Chase Utley. 1 pitch, 1 out. Dodger defense today brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC, and here's the whole thing. Peterson, Bellinger, and Puig in the outfield. Turner and Muncy at the corners. Chase Utley with his first start of July at second, teaming up with Chris Taylor, form the double play duo behind Maeda.
American League Park. Matt Kemp can DH, so Bellinger slides out to center field, which gives space for Utley, and Muncy moves over to first.
Well, what has been a rough year for the Angels, this is one of the bright spots in Andrelton Simmons. Has always been one of the game's best fielders, and then got to the point where he was at least an above average offensive player. But he stepped that up to another level where he's top 5 in the league in batting average. 28-year-old having his best season. Hitting a pop fly into right. Easy play, Yasiel Puig, and on 3 pitches, 2 out. We kind of buried the lead with Kenta. We need to wish Kenta and his wife Saho a very big congratulations. Riku, their son, born this morning. It's going to go by Ricky.
Ricky Honeycutt?
Oh, I think he'll go by Ricky Maeda, but
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, so much admiring his pitching coach, maybe?
I like it.
Gonna have to check that out.
Congratulations. Hope Saho and Riku resting well right now. Trout comes up for the first time tonight. Maeda pitches, and Trout takes ball 1. Number 1 in baseball and on base percentage. He's number 3 in slugging. And even with his downturn offensively by his standards the last couple of weeks, this is his best season, which is saying something. If it's his best season, it's one of the best seasons we've ever seen from an individual player.
He is the whole package, and in the midst of playing for the Angels, who have struggled over the last few years, it's absolutely amazing that he can continue to do what he does. The concentration, the ability, and day in and day out, you admire the way he plays, and you are in awe of the ability and the consistency.
On a 2-0 pitch, Trout takes ball 3. And even though he's not been hitting for average the last 2 weeks, he's still getting on with the number 1 walk rate in baseball. He's sitting at 3-0 right now.
Well, he definitely has the label in this lineup of the guy that's not going to beat you. So even here in the first inning, you don't give in.
Strike 1.
Great pitch right there. A lot of guys will default to a 3-0 fastball down the middle, get that strike back knowing the hitter's going to take. Well, not with Mike Trout.
A 26-year-old in his 8th year. It's a hard ground ball to third that Justin Turner gobbles up, and Maeda with a 1-2-3 first on just 7 pitches. Through with 1 in Anaheim, no score. And he's been red hot over the last several games after what was, by his standards, the biggest slump of the year.
And Matt has hit for average, he's hit for power, he's hit with runners in scoring position. He has been at the center of all of the Dodger offense. Yes, he's had a few bumps in the road and some tough stretches, but consistency has been part of his game this year.
Very much part of the National League MVP conversation at this point. There really is nobody that's run away with it. So it'd be hard not to have a guy on a first place team as part of that conversation. Goes after the first pitch. And a lazy pop up behind first that Ian Kinsler grabs. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Felix Pena here in the second. And it brings up perhaps the hottest of this very hot Dodger team, Yasmani Grandal. On base in 11 of his 14 plate appearances against Pittsburgh. Sometimes you hear that, and this guy's taking walks, getting hit by pitches, flipping some singles. Now, he was on in 11 of the 14 plate appearances, but with a bunch of slug as well. Strike one.
It's 700 in that series, and absolutely amazing. You see the 5 walks, but the extra base hits were piling up also.
Nice play by Pena. 2 up and 2 down.
It's really hard to highlight anybody in this lineup. You need to highlight everybody. But he is definitely one right now that's as hot as Matt Kemp, Max Muncy, and Chris Taylor.
Who's coming up now, to your point. Everybody deserving of the highlight over the last few days. Chris Taylor, very similar to Yasmani Grandal. He's been on 10 of his last 14 times.
But we score 31 runs. That's why everybody's hot. 37 runs over 4 games, 31, 3 against Pittsburgh.
First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Yeah, they average better than 9 runs per game during this 4-game winning streak. One ball, 1 strike. So extra good lately, but really at this point, as Dodger fans know, you split the season into 2 parts. Before May 17th and since May 17th. Since that run started, they lead the majors in runs. It's going to take a minute to get used to that.
Well, the growth is at the exact announcement. So that's what, about 4 or 5 days growth on Dave Roberts?
Yeah.
It's about when the news came down that LeBron was coming to LA.
Going to have full goatee when he's managing the All-Star game. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He had that as a player, so it's not too jarring. It's just been a while since we've seen it.
I think he can amend it and say that when LeBron comes to Dodger Stadium to throw out the first pitch is the day he can shave it.
What if it takes a while to get LeBron to do that? It's a busy man.
He's in Europe on vacation right now, so yeah, it'll be a while before he's back.
2-2. And when he's back,
I think he'll come out to Dodger Stadium and throw out the pitch. There's a great relationship between the 2 organizations. Since one of our owners is running the Lakers.
That doesn't hurt. Taylor down on strikes, and Pena looking good over these first couple of innings. Needed just 9 pitches there.
Market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer.
Middle third of the Angels order here in a scoreless second is Justin Upton. Leads things off against Kenta Maeda. Strike one on a fastball. Upton came over last season, late August, over from the Tigers in what was one of his best years. A career high 35 home runs, career high 109 RBIs. The numbers have fallen off significantly from last year, especially the slugging, which was the standout category for him last year. A guy Dodger fans know well, former first overall pick of the Diamondbacks. Debuted with them when he was 19 years old in 2007. And now in his 12th year, taking a ball 1-2. He's much more reserved, more even-keeled than he was in those early years, when he was more prone to let the struggles get to him. That can probably be said of anybody in any field when you're comparing a 30-year-old to a 19-year-old, which is what he was when he broke in. On a 1-2 pitch, Upton drags it foul.
Kenta showing a couple off-speed pitches to Upton. Kenta had thrown about 9 of 11 of his first 11 pitches were all fastballs, but not going into his bag of tricks yet. If you want to pitch quickly and efficiently for your team behind you, who is out there in this heat, using the fastball in the right spots will help.
Went to the slider and Upton took it. 2-2. Boy, what a day for Kenta Maeda. What a day in the life of Kenta. His wife Saho gives birth to their second child, and now here he is on the mound in the major leagues, firing a 2-2 and missing off of the outside to run it full to Upton.
I don't know exactly what he feels like, but it's pretty close. Jordan, my youngest, was induced in between starts in '88, September of '88. So
during the streak.
Yes, and so, you know, to have a baby in the middle of getting ready for a start it's stressful. It's fun, it's amazing, but it's stressful. You just kind of have to take what's happening outside of in real life, let's say, compared to professional. You have to put it in like a box, get it up in the closet, close the door, and just go get your game face on. That will exist when the game's over. Concentrate on the game, and then when it's over, you can pull all that stuff back out and quickly get on the phone and call your wife, see how your new baby's doing.
Here's the 8th pitch to Upton, and it's fouled off, and so this at bat for Upton is now more pitches deep than that entire first inning. Kenta has a wonderful young family. Has a 4-year-old daughter, his wife Saho, and now Riku. Native of Osaka, Japan. He's 30 years old, 3rd season in the major leagues, after he's one of the top pitchers in Japan for 8 seasons. He's home with another 3-2, and Upton looks at strike 3. Fastball to the knees in the outside corner for Maeda's first K.
Well, he mixed in the changeup and the slider, and then he throws a Hall of Fame pitch low and away with the fastball. You can understand why Upton would be confused.
As Albert Pujols comes up with 1 out, the base is empty. Our producer Mike Levy reminds us that we forgot a family member of Kenta's.
I think that Will should be part of their family as much as they're together. His interpreter.
Will Ayrton.
But they are as close as brothers.
Strike 1. Somebody asked today, so who is with Saho now that Kenta has to come pitch? And somebody answered matter of factly, well, Will, I'm sure, is
yeah.
back in the hospital. Nothing in one in the future Hall of Famer, Albert Pujols. Ground ball to third. Justin Turner hugging the line. Wide throw, but Muncy has time to go grab it and return to the bag for out number 2. And so here comes Shohei Ohtani, who Kenta Maeda saw a little bit in Japan. As Cole explained, they're in different leagues in Japan, similar to the American versus the National League here. Maeda got the better of him in their matchups in Japan, but he said that he's changed as a hitter since he faced him, and so his approach is going to change in how he faces him.
It's a nice game time for the fans back in Japan. It started at 11 in the morning, Saturday morning for them.
Now Ohtani swings at the first pitch and deposits Souvenir. Got off to the red hot start. 3 home runs in his first 4 games. 6 home runs in his first 13. All the while pitching well for the Angels. But then to the disabled list in early June with the elbow strain. And instead of immediately opting for Tommy John, he underwent stem cell therapy, plasma injections, doing all they can to avoid surgery. Came off of the DL earlier this week, and the plan is that he's going to DH. They're going to check in again on that elbow in a few weeks and see what the immediate future is for him as a pitcher.
Well, as a hitter, it's a very long lever system, very disciplined swing. It definitely is shorter than how he faced Kenta back in Japan. He doesn't have quite as big a hitch or wrap with the bat.
Maeda strikes him out on 3 pitches. 6 up, 6 down for Kenta Maeda. We go to the 3rd in a scoreless game. Maeda against Ohtani, and he said he was most looking forward to watching Maeda punch him out, which he does on 3 pitches.
Fastball, fastball, changeup.
Maeda with his 2nd K as Yasiel Puig starts the 3rd and takes ball 1 from Felix Pena. He's been just as good as Maeda so far. Either team with a hit through 2. Puig cracks his bat on a roller to 2nd for Kinsler. 1 out. Felix Pena only in the rotation for the Angels because of this unbelievably bad injury run for the starting rotation. They've had 10 starters on the disabled list. They just got Garrett Richards back. He missed a few weeks with a hamstring injury. Tyler Skaggs, who's been their best guy, just went on the DL. JC Ramirez, Matt Shoemaker, they're both done for the season because of surgeries. A couple of other guys that have had season-ended surgeries as well. As Chase Utley comes up with one out. Strike one.
And even though he's active, you have to count Shohei Ohtani in that as far as disabled, as far as pitching. He was contributing in a big way.
They've had 23 players on the disabled list. That's the most in baseball. There was an official release that went out a few weeks ago that announced 4 different players going to the DL. There was another release that announced 3 players had just had season-ending surgery. A 1-1 pitch. Utley hits a ground ball to a well-positioned Simmons at short, and 2 quick out. So second time through the order now for the Dodgers as Jock Peterson comes up. Hey, pretty cool thing we're going to get to do at the bottom of this inning, huh? We get Ross Stripling on headset to visit with us live.
That will be a lot of fun. He's a great interview.
Pretty good pitcher too.
Oh yeah, he is that.
Looks like he's got a little facial hair going. Supporting their manager.
Maybe.
Goatee growing out a little more than usual. Here's a 1-0. On ball, 1 strike. Peterson, the only base runner of the day. He reached on an Albert Pujols error to open the game. Moved into second on a pass ball, but was stranded there. Pena to the plate with a 1-1. Peterson cues it foul. Dribbled along first. Pena throws low, but Pujols digs it out of there. And the Dodgers still looking for their first hit through 3 innings. We'll visit with Ross Stripling on the other side of this break. Joins us from the Dodger dugout. Ross, you're a Texas guy, but how hot is it down there?
Man, it's like you said, I'm a Texas guy. I thought I'd be used to this, but I think living in LA for the last 2+ years has spoiled me, man. This is tough.
Luis Valbuena starts the inning, takes ball one from Kenta Maeda. Hottest you've ever been a part of? I got to imagine like 2-a-days as a football player in Texas. That can't be cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's extremely hot. Obviously, remember those. Remember some workouts in college where it's almost like the coach waits for the hottest day possible, and then he hits you with the hardest day workout-wise you can think of to try and toughen us up. You know, so certainly been a part of some humid days down in Houston. You know, at Texas A&M, and then obviously growing up in Dallas.
Ross, great success this year. How's the routine going and the comfort of, tell the people what it's like to have that routine and what it feels like out on the mound and what you can draw on because you're in that routine?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, I had just kind of found one in the bullpen that I liked, and you know, found a lifting schedule, a running schedule, and then obviously kind of you know, having an idea of what my role was in the bullpen, and then all of a sudden I'm back in the rotation and trying to kind of rely on things that I did, you know, when I was making starts, obviously through college, and then coming up through minor leagues, and then my first year in the big leagues. And it's huge, you know, to know when you're going to pitch obviously gives you a little peace of mind, and then trying to you know, put together a scouting report, and you know, kind of have an idea who you're going to face and things like that. It just makes everything a little easier, and you know, you just kind of know what to expect when you know what day you're going to take the mound and who it's going to be against.
The depth of the scouting report and what you really study coming out of the bullpen compared to the rotation, don't you have to get into it a little deeper when you might face a guy 3 times?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I was kind of the long man out of the bullpen, so I knew there was a chance I could face guys multiple times, so I always tried to prepare for the whole lineup. But like you said, you know, facing a guy a 3rd time, it just turns into a chess match. You know, is he thinking about the way I got him out the first 2 times? Is he expecting that, or is he expecting something different? Am I going to get him out the same way, or am I need to change it up and get him out a different way? You know, so that's kind of what makes it fun, and obviously something that makes starting really difficult, but something that I'm really excited to be doing again and getting the opportunity.
After the flyout from Valbuena, it's Ian Kinsler fouled off the first pitch from Kenta Maeda. You're scheduled to go tomorrow, game 2 of this series. So what does today look like, the day before you make a start against a team?
Well, today is pretty easy. You know, I guess if you're on a 5-day rotation, this was a 6-day, but you know, normally day 4, the day before you pitch, is the easiest day. It's putting together a scouting report, kind of finalizing you know, what you're going to do out on the mound the next day. Easy day in the weight room, easy day out on the field, light catch. And just kind of, you know, it's nice to have a righty pitching against probably a pretty similar lineup that I'll pitch against tomorrow. So just kind of watching Kenta, seeing what he does, how he keeps him off balance, off to a good start, and just trying to go out tomorrow and kind of emulate some of the things that he's doing.
Is there another level of mental discipline now that you've had success to try and repeat that 5 days later, 4 days later, and even in the back of your mind, getting closer to the All-Star selection? What kind of discipline does that take to block that out and stay in routine?
Yeah, you know, something that I've never been through. All the, you know, getting tagged on stuff on Twitter about the All-Star game, my family asking if they should book flights, you know, kind of stuff like that, where you're just like, I don't know, I'm trying to get the angels out, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so that's been, you know, something new for me. And yeah, like you said, it's just, you know, you got to stay focused, man. You got to control what you control. That's just kind of the classic lingo there, and you know, go out, get guys out, and if make the All-Star team, that's great. If not, I get 4 days off with the wife, and we'll get to do some fun things too.
Comes a 1-2 to Ian Kinsler. It's a ground ball to 3rd. Justin Turner's there. Kenta Maeda continues to mow him down.
Does the stockbroking stuff in the morning help you get away from the game?
You know what, it does. It does. I think it's important to have a hobby away from baseball. You know, when you think of just how much of your heart and soul you pour into this game, it's nice to get away sometimes, and that's kind of what that is for me. Obviously something that I'm passionate about, and something that I've been doing for a while. I'm even licensed in it and work in the off season. So, you know, it's something that, yeah, lets me get away from baseball, kind of focus on in the mornings or late in the evenings, and then when I come to the field, you know, it's all about baseball, and when I get away, having, you know, something else that can kind of take my mind off of it.
The 2-out Jose Briseño. No score here in the 3rd, visiting with Ross Stripling. Fastball misses down and away. I know as of like a year ago you didn't have any teammates as clients.
Yeah.
Has your success on the mound helped your sales pitch to get a few teammates as clients financially?
Well, you know, I wish. I'm trying to kind of keep it separate, you know, but every now and then I'll kind of like maybe nitpick in there a little bit, like, hey, remember, you know, last month I was up 5%, don't forget, you know, or just whatever. But no, for the most part, I keep it separate. You know, if Kershaw ever wants to hand me a paycheck and let me invest it, that would be great. But so far, not yet.
I know your company back home that you work for is asking you in multiple meetings, like, can you give us a few introductions?
Yeah, right. You know, that was kind of the idea of it early was, you know, I happen to play a sport around guys that make a whole bunch of money, and if you can be good at networking, and then, you know, there's obviously ample clients around the baseball world, but, you know, they've been great. They've kind of let me do my thing. Obviously, I've been a young guy in the big leagues just trying to get my keep my head above water and you know, get guys out here, so not focusing so much on that, but obviously that's kind of the end goal, and we'll see if we get there.
Ross, this was fun. We appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll look forward to watching Ross pitch game 2 of this series tomorrow. No score after 3. Centers. Hurry in today for the BMW Summer On Sales event for exceptional offers. Details at SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. To the middle innings in game 1 of the Freeway Series, and still no score. The Dodgers and Angels play on to the 4th on a gorgeous night. We take a look now at our lane over performance spotlight. Remember the hype around Cody Bellinger's start last year, and for good reason. And even if you go back to Jock Peterson's rookie year in 2015. These are the most home runs pre-All-Star break for a guy who entered a season with 5 homers or less prior. So a lot of them rookies, but a guy like Max Muncy, who had 2 seasons with no power. In the National League all time, he's tied for 4th. Went around here, and he's behind Pena 0-2.
Now that kind of list is 90% rookies, and then very rarely do you get a veteran that all of a sudden figures it out. But Max has kind of lowered himself in his batting stance, kind of into his legs a little bit more, and a lot of that power has gone into the bat speed. Changing the height of his eyes by getting a little crouch to his stance hasn't hurt his ability to differentiate between a strike and a ball. Still has a great eye.
Little Jeff Bagwell in him, squatting down in that stance. That 2-seam rides back in there to get him for the first out of the 4th. And we shift the attention from Muncy to Pena, who's putting together a really good start here. Needed 19 pitches to get through that first inning. Less than that for the 2nd and the 3rd combined. And he does something that not many guys do, and that is strike out Muncy to open this 4th. Here's Turner. Felix Pena signed with the Cubs when he was 19 out of the Dominican Republic. That was back in 2009. That was back and forth between the pen and the rotation as a minor leaguer. Turner grounds it foul, and it's 0-2. Big league debut with the Cubs 2016. Parts of 16 and 17 there, exclusively in the bullpen. And those acquired in a minor trade this offseason. And this rotation because of injuries. Dealing 0-2. Strike 3 called on Turner to the top of the zone. Scott Turner on strikes both times in 5 total tonight.
Felix Pena's fastball has had some nice run on it. Justin Turner had one run all the way up and in on him that he struck out on in his first at bat. That one runs back to the outside corner, just catches a portion of the strike zone. Pena's on a mini roll of his own, just like the Dodger offense. His last start, 5 1/3 against Baltimore, scoreless. His first win as a starter.
Bellinger swings away, opposite field drive. The ball is off the wall. And Bellinger's at second with a 2-out double, and the first hit of the night for either side. The throw now gets away. Bellinger started for third and retreats. He's looking around saying, wait a minute, they didn't go out. It crashed off of the wall. He just barely misses breaking this tie, but is at second with 2 out.
Cody thinks he gets it. It is a beautiful swing. Good backspin to it, and looks like it is going to go out, but no, it hits the glass there just short. The flags are blowing straight down, so there's no wind that knocked that down. It just didn't carry for him.
Which is weird on a day as hot as this one. So at 2 out, it's Matt Kemp, who popped out on the first pitch that he saw his first time. Here he lines the ball into center for a base hit. Bellinger's headed home. Trout won't even try a throw, and the Dodgers have taken the lead in the 4th.
Ball that's well hit for a double, and a ball that's off the end of the bat for a single. A first pitch breaking ball. It's a pretty good pitch. Good sharp break at the end. Matt Kemp slightly full, but had enough extension to get a portion of the barrel on it and just kind of lazily place it out into center field.
Best in the game this year with runners in scoring position. He's driven in another. So after 3 2/3 without a hit, back-to-back hits, breaking the scoring seal. Strike 1.
The different portions of this Dodger lineup. As a pitcher, you look at the leadoff spot and you go, okay, don't want him to get on because here comes the meat of the order. Then you get through the meat of the order and you go, okay, now here comes the hot guys.
Right. That's not fair. Throw down to first. Right up Pujols. Kemp was in there anyways.
Took a bite out of Albert's left wrist or thumb. Not sure that got a lot of leather right there. Take a look at this hop, and where does it get him? Oh yeah, just there up by the heel, maybe half on the leather, half on the hand.
Two on one.
Turner Ward is freezing in his hoodie sweatshirt.
What's he doing?
He's from the South. This isn't hot to him.
This is hot to everybody.
What, no humidity? I got to put a sweatshirt on.
A little bit outside, 3 balls, 1 strike.
What is he doing?
He may be the only person
within 50 miles.
Yeah, with a hoodie on. Grandal gets under it. Pujols to end the inning. But with 2 out, a double from Bellinger and a single from Kemp. The lead for the Dodgers to the bottom of the 4th. This season, these two teams have the largest differential in winning percentage based on scoring first or the opponent scoring first in all of baseball. The Dodgers, in fact, that's the widest gap in winning percentage in those two categories in baseball history.
That's absolutely amazing. I don't know what it proves.
That you better score first.
Yeah, you want to score first if you're playing the Dodgers. If you're the Dodgers, you want to score first, but there's so much more game after the first run is scored that it's hard to say, okay, this leads to this or this and that. I mean, yeah, of course you got to have good starting pitching after that. You got to have good bullpen pitching in today's day and age after that. And you might actually need to score some more runs.
You kind of went like, get off my lawn on us there, Oral.
No, I wasn't going get off my lawn. I think it's an intriguing stat.
Ball one on Cole Calhoun.
Get off my lawn. You got me.
Angels once through the order, still looking for their first base runner. Calhoun his first time, grounded his second on the first pitch that he saw. It's been a down year for him. Missed the first half of June with an oblique injury. He's been much better since coming back. But still one of the lowest averages in all of baseball at 178. So that's the average. The on-base percentage is 226. Yeah, Mike Scioscia's trying him in the leadoff spot. Not trying anything at this point. Angels have been the worst team in baseball in the leadoff spot. Fouls it back 1-2.
This is a guy I really like. I mean, you don't like the statistics right now, but boy, I like the way he plays the game. You saw the catch he made in the first inning to help the Angels get out of that one with a 0. Plays hard. I think he's got tremendous ability. I understand why Mike Scioscia and the Angels are having patience. Where do they turn? You gotta hope he comes around.
Chases a changeup, and Maeda's got it working again. That's strikeout number 4.
Come to Dodger Stadium on July 14th at 4:15 when the Dodgers and the Angels face off in their second game of this Freeway Series, which is coming up at Dodger Stadium, and it'll be driven by Lexus. Get to Dodger Stadium early. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a retro-inspired Clayton Kershaw bobblehead. Compliments of Arco. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Andrelton Simmons with the bases empty and 1 out. Maeda downhill with the first one. Simmons flexes it back, strike 1. You know, there's actually been a game canceled in Dodger history because it was too hot. It was on the road. It was 1936. They're playing in Cincinnati in what is one of the hottest months in the history of Cincinnati, at least on record. They had 8 consecutive days of better than 100 degrees. Better or worse, depending on how you look at it. And Larry McPhail canceled the game. Eventually went on to run the Dodgers. July 16, 1936. Canceled it for heat. Although the conspiracy theorists thought that he canceled it because of money. And at first it's like, well, why would you cancel a game to save money? It's a fly ball foul and it's 1-2. At that point the Reds were drawing nobody, right? So they're not making any money off of gate, but they're having to pay all their employees to come work the game. So because Larry McPhail cancels it because of, air quotes, heat, it becomes a doubleheader the next day. He just has to pay his employees 1 day's pay and gets to pack 2 games into it.
The next day there was a vendors union that was started.
I hated a Simmons 1-2. Down the line, fair ball into the corner. And the Angels have their first base runner with the game. Simmons to second. He's safe. Got around the tag. Chase Utley thought he'd gotten him. But the umpire, Tim Timmons, says he got his hand in. And they'll be looking at a couple things here. Was it fair and was he safe?
Rob Drake gets the first close call. The third base umpire, Tim Timmons, will get the call. If this ends up fair, that will be very close there. And then we'll take a look at what happened at second. If it's ruled fair, Timmons has a bang-bang play here. That looks a little bit more in the Angel favor, where I would say the ball down the line might be the Dodgers' best chance. Well, that's hard too right there. Boy, they are both by the razor's edge. They're going to go to the headphones, but who knows what they're looking at.
Who knows if that play at second ever actually happened.
It is so hard to continue to reach out to second base to get your fingers in there and know the impact's coming, compared to starting to bend your elbow a little bit to take away some of the impact.
So let's see. Oof.
It looked like you saw a little bit of chalk bounce up. Just about a 16th of the baseball kind of hitting it.
One of those things, classic case of, had it been called foul, you're probably not going to get it overturned fair, and it may be difficult to overturn that to foul since it was called fair.
I really feel that both calls are going to probably go that way. Called fair, called safe.
Yeah, and so a 1-out double for Andrelton Simmons. In a 1-0 game, Mike Trout bats with a tying run in scoring position here in the last of the 4th. Trout grounded to third his first time, detailing the season that he's had at this point, among the greatest first halves we've ever seen. But in a bit of a rut lately. On the first one from Maeda, swings and misses, strike 1.
Kenta pitched him very cautiously in the first at bat. Fell behind him 3-0. Got back into the count with an outstanding fastball low and away, and got him to ground out Justin Turner.
Now a slider that Trout takes for a ball, 1-1. 8th season, 26 years old. His birthday's coming up in a month. 6-time All-Star. He's won 2 MVPs. And even in a loaded American League where Mookie Betts is putting up huge numbers, JD Martinez is doing the same. At this point, it's probably Trout's award. The 1-1. Foul tipped, 1-2. Trout debuted when he was 19 in 2011. A lot of scouts coming out of high school thought that he lacked polish and that it was all just brute strength. There were questions about the level of competition that he played in New Jersey because of the weather there. There are only about 20-25 games a season. And he's used that. He knows that people doubted him. A lot of teams passed on him as he fell to 25th in the draft. On a 1-2, he swings and misses for strike 3.
Kenta Maeda's changeup is acting like a split finger now. The two-seam fastball has tremendous movement, and the changeup he is throwing now is mimicking that movement. Trout saw that kind of movement at 92, 93, and there he sees it at 84. It is amazing when you get one of the best of the generation and probably the best of his generation out like that.
And now a chance to strand the runner at second. Justin Upton comes up. 165 with runners in scoring position. That's one of the worst averages in baseball this year. Ball 1. So the Dodgers were able to cash in the top of this inning with the single best hitter with runners in scoring position this year. Matt Kemp driving in Cody Bellinger. The Angels looking at the other end of that with Upton up with 2 out.
It gets mental when you get that deep into a slump, especially in situational slumps.
Inside corner with a fastball, 1-1.
Matt Kemp is riding a high on being confident when he goes up there with men in scoring position, kind of licking his chops. And Upton, who's at the plate now, is probably up there trying to figure out a way to guide the ball out into the outfield and steer himself a hit. Kenta knows that he's not stealing. That was, I think, I'm not so sure about the pitch we called, so I'm just going to disengage by an inside move to second base.
Now he does throw. Simmons in easily.
With the shifting nowadays, it's a lot easier to put a pickoff on at second base. You don't feel like you're going to throw the ball away. It was more of a timing play, but now with Chase Utley right behind second base, he just kind of turn and throw. And as he's coming into the bag, there's only timing when to put the tag down.
Here comes the 1-1. Upton hits it off the end of the bat down the line. Muncy's out. Puig is on. Muncy can't get it. It's a foul ball. It's a foul ball, and it's 1-2.
Long way to go. Yasiel Puig watching Muncy. I don't think Muncy even heard Yasiel. I think he just kind of clanks this one. That's not the easiest thing to do. Run with your head tilted backwards with the ball. You have a tendency to lose a little balance, a little equilibrium. And every step you take gets a little harder, but he will tell you post game he should have had that.
Leaves the door open for the moment for the cleanup man Upton. With Simmons at second and 2 out, and a 1-0 game here in the 4th. High to home with a 1-2, and he got him swinging with a slider. Pops out of Grandal's glove, throws down to finish him off. Ida winds up getting 3 Ks in the inning to pitch around the first hit of the day for the Angels.
Join T-Mobile in showing appreciation for all military by sharing a photo or video with the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
By your Southern California Toyota dealers. It's Toyota's Red, White, and You sales event. Celebrate your independence with a great deal on a new Camry.
Mike Scioscia in his 19th season as the manager of the Angels, and in a past life, he was a pretty big part of what you did.
He's a fantastic catcher and a great teammate, great leader when he was playing, and he's a great leader now as a manager. Not many guys get to stay in one uniform for a long time as a player. He did that. And not many guys get to stay in one uniform as a manager. He is doing that.
Entire 13-year career, 1980 through 1992, Dodger blue. More innings caught than anybody in Dodger history. Chris Taylor leading off this 5th against Felix Pena, and behind 0-2. Hard to believe he's been here 19 years now, huh?
It is hard to believe. Through the ups and downs of the organization, the championships, and some of the dry times.
Pena's matched his career high with 6 strikeouts. He's got Taylor both times swinging. 1 away in the 5th. And here's Puig. Swinging to the first pitch and hitting one down the line to right. That will appeal to the seats for strike 1. We grounded to second his first time up. Dodgers only have 2 hits in this game, but they strung them together to produce a run. Double from Bellinger, single from Kemp on back-to-back pitches. Puig pulls it on a bounce to third. Nice stab, Valbuena, 2 out.
This ball is absolutely blistered. As a third baseman, first thing you're glad of, you caught it. Other thing you're glad of, the hop was true because it doesn't catch the edge of the grass. It hits dirt. But at least you got a chance. Felix Pena on the mound appreciates the defensive help that he wasn't getting earlier. But the one thing he is doing well on the mound is he's throwing first pitch strikes. 15 out of 17.
His fielders thank him. The temperature's still north of 100. Chase Utley with 2 out, leans over the plate on ball 1. The pitch count very much under control, largely because of those first pitch strikes. He's at 57. And he's thrown as many as 84. That's inside the bag, fair ball, and a base hit for Chase Utley. Upton hustles to it to hold him to a 2-out single. Utley with his first hit this month, and the inning kept alive.
Mary Yasiel hit his, but different positioning. Off the line for the left-handed hitting Chase Utley.
Third time through, Jock Peterson. Bottom of the zone, strike 1. Jock 0 for 2 today. 2 for his last 15, both those hits homers. More than half of his hits since the start of June have left the yard. Pena going away with an 0-1. Hit his spot and got a foul ball, strike 2.
He's been very impressive tonight. He's dealing with the heat, going against a outstanding offense that's very hot. He's located his fastball well. Breaking ball is his main pitch. Just thrown a few changeups.
Home with an 0-2, and he gets Peterson. And no, he fouled it. Barely got a piece. Stays at 0-2.
61 of those pitches. Now 20 have been breaking balls, 2 change-ups, and it's really close. Jock just barely tipped it.
Utley at first with 2 out. Coming upstairs with an 0-2 that misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Run over his last 10 innings. Felix Pena, his 4th major league start. A 5 1/3 shutout innings his last time out were against a struggling lineup in Baltimore. Doing this against the hottest lineup in baseball. 2-2. On 2-2, Peterson swings wildly and misses on a ball that gets by Briseño for a moment, but he picks it up and throws Peterson out. Halfway home in Anaheim, the Dodgers 1, the Angels nothing. Welcome inside, and excuse the polos, it's hot. We won't do it again, we promise. You'd figure the ball would fly well on a night like this, but the pitchers have done a good job of not testing that theory. There's really just been one ball hit hard in the air.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger's ball that ended up being a double. Cody even got fooled on that one, but tell you what, the pitchers have done an amazing job of locating their fastballs and getting quick outs. You know, they're stayed away from their breaking ball except for like a finish pitch, but a lot attacking the strike zone with the fastball early.
Albert Pujols leads this inning off, takes ball one from Kenta Maeda, who has continued off of his last 2 starts. And really been good so far in this one. 6 Ks, no walks, and just 1 base runner. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pujols. Two.
Just watching Albert move around the batter's box, around first base, run down to first. My feet hurt watching him. I mean, he's playing in a lot of pain. You can just tell by the way he is gingerly putting pressure on his feet. And that is tough as a hitter, to stay in your legs, putting the pressure down into your feet to get your power and your stability.
You know what the amazing thing is, among plenty other things about Albert Pujols, even with all the feet issue that he's had, the back pain, the knee problems, he's played in 149 or more games 5 of the last 6 years. And in his 6 years with the Angels, averaging 28 home runs. Not the player that he was in St. Louis, but not many players we've ever seen are. It's one of the best 10-year stretches offensively this game has ever seen. Fouls it off, still 2-2.
He's definitely adjusted because he, you know, in his prime, powered all fields, turn on the inside fastball, lay off the slider low and away. If you leave it up a little bit, even off the plate, a breaking ball, could stay with it and hit it for power. Could lock in for the long haul, not only hit for power, but hit for average. The machine.
Maeda gets him with a changeup again. Kenta with his 7th K. One of those 7 strikeouts came on 3 pitches in the highly anticipated matchup against Shohei Ohtani, who celebrated his 24th birthday yesterday. 5 pro years in Japan, where he would start as a pitcher on Sundays. He'd DH Tuesday through Thursday, and then take Friday and Saturday off to prepare for the start. And was one of the top pitchers in Japan early on, but made himself into one of the top hitters the last couple years. Strike 1. 4 pitches, 4 strikes.
First at bat, Kenta sped him up with the fastball and struck him out with the changeup. Kenta's changeup has developed in an amazing way this year with the movement and the location. There it is right there. First 12 starts of this year, Kenta struck out 10 batters with his changeup. In the last 3 starts, he has struck out 10 batters with his changeup. 12 starts, 10. Now the last 3 starts, 10 with the changeup.
That corresponds with really good numbers overall after he struggled in his first 2 games after the hip injury. Putting together a 3rd consecutive great performance. He fires 1-1, and Ohtani swings and misses at that change. 1-2.
Absolutely fantastic arm speed and tremendous movement. Reminds me of Zach Greinke's changeup. That just throw it as hard as you can, let the grip do the work. If it's only 6 mile an hour different from your fastball, that's fine if it's got that great movement and arm speed.
Comes back inside with a fastball and induces as soft contact as you can. Off of the hands, a pop fly to Taylor, 2 out.
Kenta Maeda wins the battle against Shohei Ohtani again. First at bat was a strikeout. This at bat was a little longer battle, but there were some swing and misses in it where Kenta showed his outstanding stuff and movement. And after the changeup away swing and miss, you know he's going to be a little hesitant before he swings. So what do? They jam him with the inside fastball,
which is a spot that a lot of scouts thought would be the weakness for him, watching him in Japan. With 2 out, Luis Valbuena, strike 1. Just nobody in Japan ever really challenged him there. It's this, larger than life figure where there's not nearly as much velocity in Japan as there is in the States, and how many teams attacked him inside. Maeda's 0-1. Back to the change, and it's 0-2. Same pitch, same result. Kenta Maeda with 8 strikeouts over 5 shutout innings.
'17th, of course, that's the All-Star game in the nation's capital. And Dave Roberts, he's going to be the skipper. And this year, rosters, they come official on Sunday evening. Now, the National League, there's 24 spots to be filled. In the American League, 23. And for the first time, managers, they have no say. It's all dependent on the player ballot, the commissioner's office, and the fan vote. Now, in the past, managers, they could lobby for their guys, but that has gone by the wayside. And earlier, as I caught up with Dave Roberts, he said if he could lobby for any one of his players, it'd definitely be the guy that's hanging out at home plate right now. That's Max Muncy, Joe.
Who has a 1-1 count. And he certainly made a case where nobody's going to argue against Dave Roberts if he was able to push across any kind of argument. That falls in for strike 1 and 2. The numbers speak for themselves. And you hope that through the due process, Muncy gets a good look. Two balls and 2 strikes.
I had mentioned it earlier, but I think first place is going to help. If the Dodgers can stay hot and keep winning right into All-Star break till selection time. I think it'll help with the player vote. I think it's helping with Matt Kemp, but Matt Kemp was there even when near the top, even when the voting was coming in and the Dodgers were in 3rd place. I think it'll help with Ross Stripling and Kenley Jansen.
Diamondbacks, by the way, have a 2-1 lead on the Padres. That game in the 7th in Phoenix. Muncy down on strikes. 0 for 3 tonight, 1 away.
Well, stay tuned tonight for an all-new Backstage Dodgers as we go all access at Puig's annual Wild Horse Charity Poker Tournament. Plus, Clayton Kershaw hosts a charity event of his own with a surprise performance from a country music star. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac right after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
Well, among these career-high 8 strikeouts for Felix Pena, he's gotten Muncy twice, he's gotten Justin Turner twice, and Chris Taylor twice. Here he's ahead of Turner 0-1. Ball and a strike. One nothing 6th inning, and on a 1-1, Justin Turner takes strike 2. Two and two. Able to lay off and work the count full. Dodgers without a walk tonight. 8 Ks, no walks, 3 hits. Maeda even better. Just 1 base runner against him through 5 shutout innings. A double from Simmons that went to review. It's very close to being foul. Turner earns the first walk of the evening against Pena. That's going to end Felix Pena's night. 5 1/3 for the 2nd start in a row. 5 1/3 shutout innings against Baltimore last week, and 5 1/3 allowing 1 here tonight. Mike Scioscia takes it from him. Noe Ramirez comes into the game for the Angels. We'll be back in a moment. Dodgers everywhere, July 20th. And by Carl's Jr., the tempting El Diablo Thick Burger has returned to Carl's Jr. Pick it up before it's gone.
Felix Pena has been given an opportunity because of injuries in that rotation, and he was really impressive tonight.
Very impressive. 76 pitches. Secondary pitch that really carried him was the slider at 27 of those, only threw 2 changeups. Dodgers are going to see the opposite in the approach right here from Noe Ramirez. He's going to come at him with the fastball and the changeup and rarely throw the breaking ball.
Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. He's not had a very good season after came over from Boston last year, put up very good numbers. Struggling to replicate those results in his first full year in Anaheim. Cody Bellinger doubled the other way his last time up and scored the game's only run. Takes ball 1. Two and up.
Noe already out there kind of beating himself up because that changeup is his go-to pitch, and it's already high to the arm side here on a 2-0 count.
Falls behind 3-0. So the local guys out of Alhambra, and they went to Cal State Fullerton. Extra special for the local products. There are several of them playing in this Freeway Series. Justin Turner, of course, pops to mind. A 4-pitch walk to start Ramirez's night. The Dodgers are at first and second for Kemp. We take a look at our top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. When he came up last time with a man in scoring position, took the first pitch that he saw and ripped it to center to put the Dodgers in front.
Very comfortable place for Matt. Come up with runners in scoring position. Dave Roberts loves to see him in the batter's box in those situations, and Matt delivered.
Did you see his barrels are overrated signal he gave to the dugout with the tongue out? This guy's having a lot of fun being a Dodger. Takes ball 1. Matt said that you don't know how much you love playing at Dodger Stadium, wearing the Dodger blue, until you're not playing 80 games a year there. You don't realize what you have until it's gone, until he was dealt to San Diego and Atlanta. And a return that he never saw coming. Checks his swing. Ball 2. And it comes down to health for Matt Kemp. He said if he stays healthy, good things happen. There's a mound visit, and Kemp has been able to stay healthy thus far, despite a few nagging things that every player is going to go through. The weight ballooned last year, largely because of the hamstring issue. He missed more than 40 games. And of course, in much better shape this year. Putting up big time numbers. On his way to the All-Star game, almost a certainty at this point. Speaking of having fun playing with the Dodgers, one of the guys who was with the Dodgers the first time around for him was Kenley Jansen, who is hidden behind the blown up head of Matt Kemp. A 2-0 pitch. Generous strike call after 6 consecutive balls to open the outing. Normally you throw 6 balls in a row, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt on this.
And a veteran hitter that is going to the All-Star game, who's putting up another career year.
So now it's 2-1, and Kemp swings and pulls a base hit to left.
Turner's headed for the play. Here's Upton's throw. It's cut off, and Kemp has done it again. Bellinger gets around the rundown, but left the base path, and so is called out. And now Kemp caught between first and second, but in safely. Bellinger is out. Bellinger has been called out, and they're going to put Kemp back at second. So it's an RBI single for Matt Kemp. They called Bellinger out for leaving the base path that he had gone out of. And now Bellinger, who had headed back to first, is going to be placed back at second.
There's a few different ways to look at this play, and I think the third base umpire, Rob Drake, and it starts right about here. Let's see if Matt Kemp, when Cody Bellinger goes back, if he calls him for out of the baseline there, or Matt Kemp. I don't know if he gets Cody for going out of the baseline or Matt Kemp for rounding second. It made a signal that could be thought of as both. Watch it right here where he goes.
But he signaled right when Bellinger altered his path. And I thought that they had put Kemp back on second, but it looks like not. He is going to be at first base. By his own doing. He didn't realize that Bellinger had been called out. Wanted Bellinger to have access to second. So he went back to first. So runner at first and 2 out.
And the Dodgers got a run.
They did get a run, yeah.
At the very beginning of this.
We buried the lead. And Kemp's driven in both tonight. Here's Grandal taking a strike. Kind of a typical Freeway Series game, huh? There's some wacky stuff that goes on in it. Franchises first met 1962 in a spring training exhibition game in Palm Springs, which is where the Angels were holding spring training at that point. First met in a big league park the next year at Dodger Stadium. And interleague play beginning in '97. That's when the series officially started. On a 1-1 pitch, Grandal takes ball 2. Very first game these teams played in the regular season. Todd Zeile hit a walk-off home run against Troy Percival. A 3-2 Dodger win. Two on one. Here it is. Ball 3. Third walk of the inning.
First inning on offense, the Dodgers had some free passes from balls getting away. Albert Pujols' error. They couldn't capitalize on this, but now with the walks, they got a chance to capitalize on this with more than 1 run.
And a second pitching change here in the 6th. Hansel Robles comes on for the Angels now.
else could it be so far but Matt Kemp started the night with 55 RBIs, but has driven in 2 here against these Angels, 56 and 57, which puts him in 7th place, tied for 7th in the National League in RBI total right now, continuing to extend and progress with his resume to be on that all-star team. On the mound now, Hansel Robles coming in with a big 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And Mike Scioscia's looking for any component to come out of that bullpen that could get him some outs.
Robles started this season in New York with the Mets, who designated him for assignment. And that's all you need to know about the season Robles is having. The Mets, with the worst bullpen in the National League, DFA'd him. 2 on, 2 out, 2-0. Chris Taylor, who has struck out both times tonight, comes up with a chance to extend this lead and take strike 1. Flames that fastball to the knees, 0-2.
Pitched on Wednesday in Boston, came in with bases loaded and stranded all 3 runners. It's a little easier situation than that one.
Oh, 2. And he gets Taylor looking. 98 to the knees. Taylor down on strikes 3 times tonight, but the Dodgers get another run and another base hit from Matt Kemp. Eight more strikeouts, no walks, and just 1 hit, which was pretty darn close to being foul as he works on to the 6th inning, having only thrown 64 pitches.
He's been absolutely fantastic. His arsenal is very well balanced. 14 swings and misses tonight. 4 on fastball, 5 on slider, 5 on changeup.
In his last 3 starts now, Earl, he has 26 Ks to 3 walks. That's after his first 2 starts off of the disabled list. That strikeout to walk ratio was 3-8, and now 26 to 3. Bottom of the order, Ian Kinsler to lead it off. Started him with a curve. Ball 1.
I think that was the first curveball of the day.
Sometimes see him steal strike 1 with it. Failed to land it that time. And now comes back and gets strike 1.
With the slider at 83. The curveball goes down to about 74 miles an hour. The fastball is averaging right around 92. So where do you change speeds if you've only thrown your first curveball, which is 74 here in this inning? Well, it's with the changeup and the slider. They're about 9 mph slower than his fastball.
One and two. We've talked a little bit about the human element of the second child being born today. This is really impressive. The same day to come to work and be at the very top of your game. It'd be totally understandable if he wasn't quite himself. We saw Chris Stratton of the Giants earlier this year. That's past the diving Turner at third and a leadoff hit for Ian Kinsler. We saw Stratton a few days after his daughter was born look completely different than we'd seen him look at any other point. By far his worst career start, and you understood.
I think that one involved travel, where Kenta at least was here in LA, and that's a little bit better. But you can't have a bad outing on the day your second child's born, especially when he's named possibly after your pitching coach, Ricky.
Second hit of the day for the Angels, and Jose Briseño, the 9-hitter, comes up. 13th major league game for him. Already has a couple of home runs. One and one. Maeda continuing a nice trend for the Dodgers recently. Starting pitching's been especially good. And overall this year, despite all the injuries, #2 in the National League starters ERA. Here comes his 1-1. Bounce back to him off of Maeda's glove. Taylor barehands and throws wide. And the first two have reached for Anaheim in the 6th.
Kenta won multiple Gold Gloves over in Japan as one of the best fielding pitchers to come over here. And this one, if he could have it back, you probably pull your glove back, but your reaction is to get it as soon as you can. Chris Taylor would have got that ball easily moving towards the base at second. Probably records at least that out at second base. The deflection now puts him in a jam. It was ruled a hit.
And now the top of the order, third time through, and early on in Maeda's career, when he was a rookie, it was a big time issue. When he got to the third time through the order, which just made him like most pitchers. But he's bucked that trend this year. Opponents hitting below 200 third and fourth time through. Cole Calhoun takes a change up 1-0. Ball 2. Generous outside corner, strike one.
Cole Calhoun shaking his head. A large portion of who wins and who loses this game is going to happen in the next few hitters.
2 on, nobody out, and a 2-1. Calhoun dribbles it foul, and it's 2-2.
First 2 pitches of an at bat. A lot of hitters attack Kenta Maeda, attack Ross Stripling, because once they get into the at bat with their 4-pitch arsenal that they can locate around the strike zone, the hitters have a tough time understanding what's going to come and where are they going to put it.
Here comes his 2-2. Take it low, full count. First time he's run into any kind of trouble tonight. Back-to-back singles to open the inning. And now 3-2 count with Daniel Hudson getting loose in the bullpen.
They were trying to come fastball up and in to get him out or to set up something off speed away here in the 3-2 count. You didn't really get the flinch you want when the fastball's down and in to set up the off-speed pitch, but we'll see where they go. Want to double up fastball in, or are they going to go off-speed away? And right here, whatever the scouting report says, I'm not sure is as important as what feels good in Kenta's hand.
Much of the night it's been that changeup. It's impressive as we've seen that look at any point. 2 on, nobody out, 6th inning and a 2-0 game. Maeda's payoff. He went to the fastball to strike him out. And it was again a generous outside corner.
Chad Whitson has had strike calls out there most of the night, and what you want from umpires is consistency. We saw Justin Turner have a couple pitches called out there, some other Dodgers, and now the Angels are getting a few, and Calhoun thinks he got 2 that were wide that were called for strikes.
Chad Whitson is a call-up umpire this year. He's had some time in the majors in recent years. They just brought up recently. 36-year-old from Ohio rings up Cole Calhoun for the first out of the inning, and here's Andrelton Simmons. Two on, 1 out. High fly ball left center field. Peterson back, nearing the wall, making the catch. Both runners tag and advance. 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. Valbuena or Simmons just missed it.
One of the hottest hitters in the Angel lineup, and Andrelton Simmons knows he got a hanger and he just missed it. You see him grimacing with disappointment that he didn't pick on that hanging breaking ball a little better.
Easy decision here for Dave Roberts. He'll put Mike Trout on with first base open. And so in a way, the aggressive base running for the Angels takes an opportunity away from Trout and brings up Justin Upton. They'll live with Upton up there, and that it means the tying run is in scoring position. And Rick Honeycutt out with Will Ayrton.
See how he feels. Go over how he got him out. His other at bats, he struck Upton out looking. He struck him out swinging. They had a nice long rest before this inning because the Dodgers manufactured a run, but also had a lot of traffic out there and some delays with looking at a replay. Be real careful with the signs. Be real careful with what you want to throw.
Scott Alexander joining Daniel Hudson. A little bit different game here in an American League ballpark. Don't have to consider when the pitcher's spot is due up for Dave Roberts. In a lot of ways, a simpler game on a manager.
Loaded up, 2 gone, and a 2-0 game. Justin Upton out of the cleanup spot. First game of the Freeway Series has been a tight one. Ball 1. Ball 2.
He started this way against Calhoun, worked his way back into the count, got a couple generous strikes, but was able to record that out. And that strikeout is key now. Got him on the right track for this inning and putting up a 0, but right now the back's against the wall.
They've called a balk on Maeda. With Ian Kinzer dancing around at third, he hurried a pitch home, and they've called a balk. Dave Roberts coming out.
It's really hard here because you can't argue a balk. He stepped back and he stepped through. I think he went through a delivery. Dave Roberts can ask for an explanation, but you can't argue it. Let's watch. Steps back, sees the runners. Oh, he stepped off in the middle of his delivery. The back foot becomes disengaged with the rubber once he has started. So that's not stepping off prior to your delivery starting, and now you can pick off or do whatever you want. That's disengaging from the rubber after your delivery started. That's a balk.
And that's the first run of the game for the Angels. Moves a tying run to third. The go-ahead run into scoring position. And a 2-0 pitch. It is a strike, 2-1.
It's a very fine call by Chad Whitson. I mean, we have the strike zone up to evaluate him pitch to pitch. But I'll tell you what, to see that in the midst of concentrating in this heat, that was a very good call.
Strike 2. Maeda still with a chance to get through 6 with the lead. Even with first base open and the struggling Albert Pujols on deck, he is attacked Upton to even the count at 2-2. Do it again.
When Rick Honeycutt went out to the mound, it was about strategy, but it was also about delaying for Scott Alexander in the bullpen. And you wonder why with Albert Pujols on deck. Well, he's got reverse splits this year. He's only hitting 152 off of lefties. Now Mike Sosa's arguing the count.
On the video board, scoreboard out in right field, it says 1-2, but should be 2-2. He's just making sure that the same thing on Chad Whitson's clicker is what he thinks it is. It's definitely 2-2. They just now fixed it on the scoreboard. I think everybody had it 2-2 except the scoreboard. All on the same page now.
Scoreboard's overheating.
And you wouldn't blame it. Ursanio at third, Trout at second, 2-2. Angels only had 1 base runner over the first 5 innings of this game. 2 hits and a walk here in the 6th. Seventh pitch. Full count.
Kenta being aggressive, but also being aggressive with his mechanics right there. Missed clearly across the plate. They were trying to come up and in. He pulled it into the left-hand batter's box. Searching for a little bit more energy and aggressiveness, but it's got to be timed up with your delivery.
The payoff. Outside ball 4, bases loaded.
In the moment, you want this pitch. You know you've gotten some off the edge of the plate earlier to help you. You don't like it when the help is not there, but that was a ball.
Dave Roberts going to take it from Maeda, and with the bases loaded and Albert Pujols coming up, Scott Alexander coming in a one-run game. Sixth, and his final line is going to depend on what Scott Alexander can do here with the bases loaded.
Scotty coming out to face Albert Pujols, who has reverse splits. Albert's hitting in the high 200s off of righties, but the mid 100s off of lefties. So Scott looking just to record an out, and a lot of times when he does that, it's on a ground ball.
2 hits, 2 walks in the inning. Briseño's at third, Trout's at second, and Upton's at first. The lone run scoring on a balk. So Pujols, who is 0 for 2 today, but riding an 8-game on-base streak. The bases loaded in the 6th. Takes strike 1. Albert Pujols, 36 RBIs from 2000 in his career. If he can reach that plateau, he'd be the 5th man ever to do it. 1 ball, 1 strike. There are those splits you're talking about, different than throughout most of his career. Big pitch coming here. 1-1. 1-2 as it sinks under the swing of Pujols.
'94, '95, and right there 96 with sink.
Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second. He strikes him out. Alexander into the fire and out of the jam to keep it 2-1 after 6.
stadium driven by Lexus when these Dodgers take on the Angels, and that is on Friday, July 13th through Sunday, July 15th. Another weekend series. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/tickets. And Joe, by the looks of the stadium here, they better get their tickets pretty early for another weekend series against these Angels, because I think we're going to get pretty close to a sellout here on this Friday night.
Yeah, it is jam-packed. People braving this heat. It's cooled off, by the way, to 95. Yasiel Puig to lead the inning off in a 2-1 game. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Colwright, glad you're with us. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. Alonso Robles pours in strike one to Puig. You might have heard that exclamation during your read. The whole stadium erupted during the kiss cam. Appropriate, I guess, with Puig coming up. A guy licked his date in the face.
Oh, no.
That was the loud reaction you heard. Puig gets a high fly ball to deep left field. Got under this one, and Upton's there to put it away for the first out. Chase Utley to the plate with one gone. On the hottest day in this ballpark's history. You know, 1963 became a world championship season for the Dodgers, but early on that year they were scuffling. 11-13 out of the gate. They dropped 3 of 4 in Pittsburgh on a particularly hot series, and that last day was the hottest. So they hit a low point. There's a ground ball to short. Simmons is there. Utley is out number 2. They get on the bus after the game, already feeling bad about how things are going. The AC is broken on the bus. A lot of the players start chirping. What's going on with this bus? This is bull. You know how it usually goes if stuff like that goes wrong. Well, the traveling secretary, his name was Lee Scott, he turns around and tells the team, maybe if you played a little better, you'd have a bus with better AC. Well, Walter Alston, the manager, didn't like this. First of all, didn't like his players complaining. Second of all, didn't like that his traveling secretary thought that he could talk to the team like that. Jock Peterson with 2 out, taking ball 1. So Walter stands up, tells the traveling secretary he's not happy with that tone, and then he addresses the team and says, hey, anybody else want to complain? Step off the bus and we can handle it outside. Nobody said a word. From there, they had the best record in the National League and finish it off by sweeping the Yankees in the World Series. They got off to a miserable start, a miserably hot day, but the turning point. On a 1-1 pitch, Jock Peterson strokes it foul, and it's 1-2. Walter Alston was not a guy you'd want to cross.
I got to know him in his later years as a minor leaguer. He would hold a billiard tournament for all the minor leaguers, and then the champion of the tournament got to play him, and I happened to win the tournament and get to play Walter Alston at Dodger Town on the table that I'm not sure he donated or brought in, but and he was a total gentleman, and we had a great conversation during the game. But I was totally in awe as like a double-A pitcher.
Sure.
But yeah, a huge man as far as the presence when he walks into the room, and I'm sure in his younger days he could have taken on anybody on the team.
1-2. Peterson gets it fouled again. He did admit in his later years, though, that if Frank Howard had said, okay, I'll step off the bus with you at 6'7", 250, he didn't know what he was going to do.
He's going to call an air-conditioned cab and get in it with Frank and leave the team on the bus. Yeah. I told you we'd settle it out here. I'm getting you a cab and I'm coming with you.
They Ubered home.
Yeah.
Another 1-2. Foul ball.
You didn't have the overhead air conditioners in those days, if I remember. They came out of on the windows.
Oh, yeah.
And if it was so hot, it would fog up the windows, too. It'd get that balance between the hot and the cold.
Peterson takes strike 3. Robles with a 1-2-3 7th. We stretch in Anaheim with the Dodgers in front 2-1. Exclusively on Fox. Deck McGuire, rookie for the Angels, against Ross Stripling.
Ross Stripling had a nice example here tonight with Kenta Maeda in our mid-game interview with him, which we appreciate. He said he was going to watch Kenta and watch the patterns that he used. I'm sure he learned a lot, and he'll have to decide which way he's going to go with it.
Logan Forsythe into the game at second base, replacing Chase Utley. So put Forsythe in the 9th spot in the order as Shohei Ohtani leads off the 7th against Scott Alexander. Came on and picked up a big strikeout of Albert Pujols to get out of a bases loaded jam in the 6th. I think we should try to talk Ross into being a staple interview. Be fun to visit with him routinely.
It would be.
1-1.
So the day before you start every day, every time, or no? But every third start.
1-2.
Get it sponsored by his stockbroker's company.
Big bounce at her first, but foul. We didn't get to ask him, but I was going to ask him if the stockbroking thing doesn't work out many years from now, if he has an interest in doing this job, because I think that he would be very good at it.
I hope he pitches really well for a long time.
That's why I said many years from now, partner.
What's going on up here?
Ohtani down on strikes. Alexander has keyed both men that he's faced.
Kenta Maeda finished his outing with a flurry of strikeouts. Scott Alexander picking up where he left off.
And when David Fletcher announces the pinch hitter, Rick Honeycutt will bring a scouting report to Alexander. Talked earlier about the local guys playing in this freeway series. Fletcher's one of them. 24-year-old rookie out of Orange County, then went to Loyola Marymount and has given these Angels a nice jolt in his first few weeks in the bigs. is putting together the kind of minor league season that they just couldn't ignore anymore. He's hitting .350 in AAA. OPS of 1,000. And he's off to a good start here in the majors. Just got official word, by the way, that your instinct was correct. It is a sellout, 44,323. They've been treated to a good one. Dodgers getting runs on a pair of Matt Kemp singles. Bringing home Bellinger in the 4th. Bringing home Turner in the 6th. Angels' own run scored on a balk from Maeda with the bases loaded last inning. Ball and a strike on Fletcher.
That sellout announcement reminds you there at home, if you're going to see these two teams at Dodger Stadium July 13th through July 15th, those tickets are going to go fast.
To the final 3 games of the first half. Dodgers trying to finish this first half the way they finished last year. They went on a tear in that final week. Kept that momentum going into the second half. Clayton Kershaw started the final game last year. And went the distance in the final game of the first half. Diamondbacks up 3-1, and actually the game's just gone final, so Arizona beat San Diego 3-1. The Dodgers will need to hang on here to stay in first. Down the line to right. Puig sprinting over. Won't get there. 2-2. Be nice to see the Dodgers play the Diamondbacks again soon. Just they played so many times early that there's this huge gap in the middle of the schedule. Like they won't see him again until the final days of August. Final 2 days of August, first 2 days of September. Alexander has K'd all 3 that he's faced. 2 out. And then final road trip of the year goes 3 in Arizona, 3 in San Francisco.
Scott Alexander, since being recalled May 9th, has now pitched what would be for a starter 3 games and a little over. He's got an ERA in the mid-2s, so when he got himself together down in AAA and found this sinker and found the range, he has brought it to the big leagues and is performing at the level that they expected.
Two out for Ian Kinsler. One and out. And Scott Alexander's lows to begin and highs since coming back. That's corresponded almost exactly with the overall bullpen's lows and then highs. He's fouled off his foot and it's 1-1. The bullpen was one of the worst in baseball over the first month and a half. They've been one of the best in the National League since. Alexander coming up near the beginning of that stretch. Here comes to the 1-1. And ball 2 on Kinsler.
The real improvement has come in his ability to throw strikes at the knees and then expand the strike zone down over the plate. Early in the year when he was slumping, it was ball 1, ball 2, and then something around the thighs. He's done a much better job commanding the bottom of the strike zone. Pitchers that throw breaking balls that like to expand the strike zone do it left and right, but with Scott, he does it more up and down.
Full count. Alexander's payoff.
Work really hard to get a good grip on the ball when it's so hot. Make sure no sweat drops down onto your fingers. You don't want it to slip out. You actually want it a little tacky. You want to be able to hang on to that ball so your fingers are on top and spin it to make it go down.
A bullet up the middle and a nice stab by Logan Forsythe. What a play, fresh into the game for a guy that has struggled so much at the plate this season. A tremendous defensive play to finish off a 1-2-3 inning for Alexander.
Comes in for Chase Utley on defense. Nice move, Dave Roberts. Nice play, Logan Forsythe.
Tight one. Before we start the 8th, we check into the studio for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers.
All right, thanks, Joe. After 31 runs scored against the Pittsburgh Pirates in a 3-game series, only 2 runs so far tonight, Ned, but they're trying to make it stand up.
Clutch hitting by Matt Kemp and a tremendous performance by Maeda so far.
Ned and Jerry will break it down after the game, plus our plays of the week. Stay with us.
Plenty to choose from this week with the Dodgers riding a 4-game winning streak. And Justin Anderson on to pitch. Top of the 8th. 2, 3, and 4. Max Muncy. Strike 1. David Fletcher remains in, plays 3rd. A couple Texas natives facing off here. Justin Anderson out of Houston. Induces a bouncing ball from Muncy, covering the bag for the first out. You know, in this run for the Dodgers where they've gone 31 and 13, there haven't been too many games like this, tight, low-scoring games. This would be, if the score were to hold, tied for the fewest runs they've had in a win during that 31 and 13 stretch. I guess you could only have 1 fewer, but point is, it's been mostly big scoring games. They've averaged 5.5 per game. They've rode the long ball to that success. No home runs tonight. Turner can't lay off. Strike 1.
I don't blame Justin. The guy on the mound has an average fastball of almost 98 miles an hour. Takes a little off with his changeup, goes down to 94. I don't even understand how that can be a changeup at 94. I think it's just a poorly thrown fastball.
Yeah.
Or maybe a fastball where you just want to take a little off.
Turner tonight, 2 strikeouts and a walk. His last 3 strikeout game, by the way, was 2 years ago. He's behind 1-2. Daniel Hudson.
He has pitched his way into a premier role.
Let's go Dodger chant starting up here. Angels fans trying to drown it out. 1-2. This is away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Southern California native, grew up in a family full of Dodger fans. Mayfair High School in nearby Lakewood, California. Taps one back to the mound. Anderson will flip to first. 2 up and 2 down.
Anderson had a nice run in early June. Had a scoreless inning streak snapped of 9 1/3 coming out of the pen on June 6th. You can see all the potential with the arm speed that he brings to the mound. Like so many with the big fastballs, they're looking for consistency.
2 out in the 8th. Bellinger, the hitter. Fastball away, 1-0. It seems like everybody has the big fastball now. So what sets you apart?
It's location. It's like real estate. Location, location, location. But if you can locate with premium stuff, then all of a sudden, you know, your lights out. He can spin the ball. He can throw it 98, 99 miles an hour. And just being able to do those 2 things out of the bullpen, that's enough if he can locate it and put it on halves of the plate, or throw it up when he wants it to be up and throw it down when he wants it to be down. Because it's such a high velocity, it widens your spray pattern. You don't have to dot it on the corner. Inner half, outer half, down and up is enough in your mind. That's a breaking ball down at 85. So if they call fastball right here and they want it up, he shouldn't worry about, oh, I got to make sure it's in or I got to make sure it's away. He could throw it right down the middle, the correct height, and it's going to be a good pitch. And it's probably not even going to end up there. It's probably going to end up somewhere not in the middle. So play your spray pattern.
3-1.
But that's 98, the wrong height, and wide left. And so that's just kind of an uncompetitive pitch. I'd rather take it dead central down the plate and about 3 inches too high for Cody Bellinger, which with this velocity, you got to say the bottom of Dodger script on his jersey.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. I think sometimes because every game's on TV now and everybody's growing up watching all the highlight shows and hearing us talk about mistakes and great pitches, that is ultimately what they're trying to do. And I think they're making it too hard on themselves, some of these guys with this unbelievable ability.
And then he throws one over the plate that breaks down and gets Bellinger to swing over the top. Does he have an earpiece in, Oral? Are you talking to him?
Friday, of course, for Friday Night Fireworks. Watch the boys in blue open up this freeway series against the Angels at Dodger Stadium. And after the game, catch the best fireworks show in town and watch pyro show set to smooth sounds of LA. You know what that is, Joe? I don't. Friday Night Fireworks is presented by Denny's, though, and we're going to listen to some smooth sounds of LA.
We're going to be
tickets,
surprised.
Visit Dodgers.com/promotion.
There are a lot of options for it, but maybe some Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I know that's your jam. Daniel Hudson on the pitch, the bottom of the 8th inning, and since the beginning of June, in 13 games, Earl, he's given up just 1 earned run.
That's a .55 ERA.
Phase 9-1-2. Jose Briseño leads it off in a 2-1 game. Ball 1.
Daniel Hudson had a little bit of an argument his last outing where he holds the ball before he comes set. He's got it back behind his leg now. He was asked to follow the rules, which is to hold the ball so that if there was a runner on, they could see the baseball in your hand before you come to the set position. So it looks like he's built a new habit of holding it behind his leg instead of in front of his front hip.
Blows a fastball by Briseño for strike 2. I know it's not part of the delivery or even really part of the set position, but is it enough of a thing where that could be difficult to have to think about it the first time you try it?
Well, it'd be difficult if all of a sudden you have to change it mid-game, which was what he was being asked. I think he was a little mad, but after you get to play catch and get into doing some things and come and set, do some mirror work, whatever it takes for you to get comfortable, I think you'll be fine.
Looks fine. Strikes out Briseño for the first out of the 8th.
Putting a lot of effort into that pitch, boy. Landed on that front leg and exploding towards the catcher. He's using his lower half right now so much that when he lands and releases the ball, he's almost got a little hop step with the landing leg because there's so much going into it.
97 with a fastball to get his first out of the inning, and here's Cole Calhoun in a 2-1 game. 0 for 3 tonight. Calhoun hits one up the middle, but it's caught by Turner. 2 up and 2 down.
Frustrating night for Calhoun. He squares one up finally. And he was going to attack early. He wasn't going to let him have a chance to call any wide strikes on him, but Justin Turner positioned perfectly and caught it easily.
And so a 2-out at Simmons. The first hit of the game for the Angels against Maeda, double in the 4th, and then flied out to the wall in the 6th. I don't know. Two balls, no strikes. And Mike Trout on deck.
He looms large with this pitch, 2-0. Very hot hitter in Simmons. And a guy who can hurt you on deck. You've got to challenge Simmons right here.
Fastball bends him back, and it's 3-0. Strike one.
Yasmani subtly trying to get Daniel in the strike zone by giving him the glove up and in, but did not move his body. So where the ball is originating and keeping his body coming straight towards Yasmani, just showing him the area the ball's going to end up, but let's stay in the middle of the plate.
Chop foul, and it's 3-2, and a chance to get out of this inning without having to see Trout. Leave him for Jansen in the ninth. Dodgers trying to win their 5th in a row. It matches season high. Trying to stay tied with the Diamondbacks for first in the West. 2-1 8th inning, 2 gone, and a 3-2. Just missed with a fastball, and up comes Trout. Daniel Hudson to Mike Trout with strike one. Trout tonight is 0 for 2. Over the last 2 nights, 1 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Set for the 0-1. Strike 2 with a fastball. Saw Yasmani Grandal setting the target low. Mike Trout is the single best low ball hitter in baseball.
Could have been a setup. They knew they were going to first on a pickoff. They would show him the target there for the pickoff, convince them that's where they're going, and then go the other place.
Here they come up with an 0-2. Just off of the plate inside ball one.
It's a great execution of that sequence right there of target, pickoff, and then this pitch. Well done. I guess it's going to take a little bit more than that to get Mr. Trout out.
Tying run at first. Go ahead run at the plate. 1-2 pitch from Daniel Hudson. After a look at first. Part of the reason Trout is so good on low pitches is that he doesn't bite on the high pitches. He swings at elevated pitches less than any player in the game. The 1-2. Inside again.
Great eye. If you can't hit it, don't swing at it. That's some unbelievable eyesight.
The 2-2 from Daniel Hudson. A pop fly into short center field for Logan Forsythe. Hudson gets Trout and gets the Dodgers to the ninth, up 2-1. as impressive as we've seen him yet.
This at bat against Mike Trout after walking Simmons. He didn't have command with Simmons, but he starts out 96. Then he goes 96 again. Then he goes up. Then he goes in. And then he goes up and in to get the pop-up. Was a great job. And it wasn't just velocity. It was velocity and location. We talk about those guys get from 95 and above. They can work on halves of the plate or up and down. But Daniel Hudson had it all right there. He had velocity and corners.
Mike Scioscia goes to his closer, Blake Parker, with the Dodgers in front 2-1. And Matt Kemp coming up to start this 9th inning.
Mostly fastball splitter to right-handers. Parker has an outstanding splitter. And every once in a while, he'll throw a curveball in there.
Kemp's driven in both Dodger runs tonight. Parker's ready to go. His first pitch. Yeah, Kemp tied up and in a bad place. No balls, 1 strike. He keeps doing what he's doing with runners in scoring position. Now above .430 this year to lead baseball. Those 2 singles tonight. It's a bouncing ball to the hole at short. Simmons has a live arm and he shows it off for the first out of the 9th. But again, no real runaway candidate right now for National League MVP. You look at the batting average leaders, the home run leaders. The only guy that appears on both those lists is Nolan Arenado. As Kenley Jansen gets ready to go for the bottom of the 9th. Problem for Arenado is that it looks like the Rockies may fade from contention. And that has been the problem for Arenado many times recently when it comes to the MVP race. A strike on Grandal. Harper's got 21 homers, but the lowest average of his career. And fair or not, average is still incorporated into it when people are evaluating players. And then a 2. So that's a long way to say Matt Kemp is part of the discussion.
I think he's definitely part of the discussion. And depending on how his season progresses, how Max Muncy's progresses, Arenado, Harper, there'll be some other candidates that emerge.
Quickly 2 out. Seeing that splitter from Parker. They get Grandal. We have just reached the halfway point, but enough on the table. Start looking at who's having standout seasons. The deeper into the year you get, the less big of a deal it'll be that Muncy wasn't here for a few weeks. We're having that discussion. Here's Taylor with 2 out. Takes ball 1. Would you believe, though, that it's Chris Taylor who now leads the Dodgers in wins above replacement?
Wow.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Does that make you question the formula, or it has a bias? I really, with the eye test, there's no way I would have picked Chris.
Yeah.
I would have picked Matt for sure.
And Kemp actually is 7th on the Dodgers on Baseball Reference for wins above replacement.
This has got a lot of defense in the component. Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with what position you play. You get boosted by it or docked by it. On the ground is short. Andrelton Simmons, because Taylor plays a premium defensive position in short, he gets a big time boost for his defense. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Kenley Jansen coming on, trying to close it down 2-1.
at each of his last 21.
Big fella has been absolutely fantastic. It hasn't been lucky at all. It has been the prime of Kenley's career that he is continuing on. Location, velocity, consistency, and dominance.
Too hot for the long hair. He's got it tucked up under the skull cap, and I would imagine had to get a larger hat for that.
This size hat's going to have to get its first save.
He's going to face some guys that have had some success against him. Justin Upton, who leads it off, is homered twice against Jansen. And then Pujols on deck. He has a homer as well. Tonight, Upton is 0 for 2. So here we go. Bottom of the ninth in a 2-1 game. Kenley Jansen to Justin Upton. With strike one. Hesitates and misses. Now, before their last game, the Dodgers hadn't won a game when they didn't homer since May, and now trying to make it back-to-back wins in games where they don't homer. A little bit outside, and he's fallen behind the leadoff man, 2-1.
And winning games where they don't hit a home run actually makes me feel more comfortable about the possibility that this is going to be a very successful season. Because in these tight games, can they produce a run? Can they get runs off of really good pitchers without hitting a home run?
That's past Jansen. Logan Forsythe positioned perfectly, and Upton the first out of the 9. They have been a whole lot better with runners in scoring position, especially during this 4-game winning streak, hitting around .350 in those situations. Got the 2 key hits from Matt Kemp tonight. In the 4th and in the 6th. Right now it's enough. Kenley Jansen trying to make it stand up with Albert Pujols and his 12 home runs coming up. .12 this year, 626 in his decorated big league career, which puts him 7th all-time, and 4 short of Ken Griffey Jr. for the next spot on the list. Jansen's 0-1. Strike 2.
That was a great shot right there. 0-2 fastball in. Inside enough to get the reaction, not so far in that you're going to hit him.
Coming back in with a 1-2, and Pujols hits a pop fly that will reach the seats, and we'll do it again. Tomorrow's game is at 4:15. It'll be Ross Stripling for the Dodgers, Deck McGuire for the Angels. Sunday at 5:05, Alex Wood and Andrew Heaney.
Couple of fastballs in, and Albert is pulling him to the far pull side. Foul. Kenley wants to take a shot with the slider in the dirt. I think he'll be out in front of it.
It's exactly what he goes to. Pujols went around, 2 gone. You've been on fire tonight, partner.
It was great pitching, and they just happen to be in the same part of my brain, but it's really hard to predict anything in baseball. But sometimes when you look out on the field and you can put yourself back in their body and what they're thinking, sometimes you go right there with them, but it's up to them to execute. That was outstanding by Kenley.
2 up, 2 down in the 9th, and it's up to Ohtani. Strike 1. Strike 2. He quick pitches and a foul ball. One and 2.
Ohtani, a national hero back in Japan, a huge following watching him back there. He didn't get a whole lot of chin music on the other side of the ocean.
Two balls and 2 strikes. First time that he's faced Kenley Jansen. 0 for 3 tonight. And tonight with the Angels only have 3 hits. Only 7 hits total in this pitcher's duel. Kenley Jansen to Shohei Ohtani with a 2-2 pitch. Way high, and the count is full. The rookie David Fletcher waits on deck.
This battle between these two feels a little personal. Ohtani such a superstar, Kenley a superstar in his own right. Mano y mano.
The payoff. He walked him. And the Angels not finished yet. Ohtani with a 2-out walk, and David Fletcher comes up. Fletcher without a home run at the major league level. Four-year-old rookie from Orange County. Came up in early June. Just giving the Angels quite a boost. Ohtani with 1 steal this year. He runs on the first pitch, and he's stolen the base with a throw sailing into center. The tying run is 90 feet away with 2 out in the 9th inning.
Stolen base was a big part of Ohtani's game in Japan, but over here, the value as a pitcher and as a DH, I don't think Mike Scioscia wanted to run him very much, so it kind of took his legs out of the game. But now that Ohtani is not pitching, the elbow's healed enough to hit and be the DH. He cuts him loose.
One ball, no strikes on Fletcher. Jansen delivers. Fletcher lines one into left, tie game. With the Angels down to their final out, the rookie delivers, bringing home Ohtani, and it's 2-2.
Finley was locked in all inning with his location, but since he tried to put Ohtani away with a whole bunch of different hesitation moves and deliveries and trying to keep the fastball up to him, never was able to get the fastball down low enough with the elevated ones to get him to bite, and now is kind of missing up on the last few pitches.
Taylor misses, ending this game by an inch. Now with a winning run aboard, Ian Kinsler bats. Jansen just trying to get this thing into extras. Ball 1. Down the right field line, Puig comes on. He will play it on a bounce. He juggles. They stop him at third as the throw comes home and gets by. Here comes the winning run. The Angels 3, the Dodgers 2. It is our play of the game brought to you by Lexus, and it officially scores on an error on Puig after Kinsler drops a base hit into right. Fletcher winds up scoring all the way from first.
Yasiel had a tweener out there, didn't want to dive for a ball and let the runner go around if he misses, but the throw is what gets him home.
And the Angels steal this series opener of the Freeway Series. 5 more coming between the teams over the next week and a half. For Oral and Cole, Joe Davis saying so long from Anaheim. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins now.